Are you contemplating whether or not to utilize paid advertising? Tune in today to discover the pros and cons that's going to enable you to make an empowered decision. Welcome to Biz Success in 15. I'm your host, Cindy J., the Visibility Wiz, and I'm here to guide you as you step into who you are with outrageous confidence for more visibility, influence, and profits. You can get your visibility checklist at visibilitychecklist.com. Today, we're going to be speaking about paid advertising. Yay or nay? What do you choose? So first, we're going to be talking about the pros of paid advertising, and this is what really pulls people in. Paid advertising allows you to precisely target your ideal client. You can target them based on their demographics, their interests, and their behaviors. And that is really enticing. It's a great pro. Another pro is that they offer immediate visibility. A lot of times it might take you a little bit of time to get known. If you start a Facebook group or you start doing Instagram reels or you start your LinkedIn page, it takes a little bit of momentum to get known. Paid ads offer immediate visibility, and that entices a lot of people. The third pro is that you can set a budget that aligns with your financial resources. The fourth one is it gives you measurable results. You can measure your ROI. Well, if I'm spending $100 in ads and I'm making $200, then that's cool, right? But if I'm spending $100, I'm making $50, there's something off and I need to figure out what it is. The fifth pro to paid advertising is brand awareness. The more people see you, the more they're aware of your brand. So the more they see you, they'll start to recognize you, and that can help your overall business. Number 6, a lot of people like to utilize paid advertising for lead generating. And number 7 is it's retargeting. You know that you can place little codes like into Facebook and I believe other social media platforms that will target anybody that's been on your website. So if somebody goes to your website, then they go to Facebook, and you've probably had this happen to you, they target you. One of my favorite little memes is there's this dog looking at the computer and they have all these dog biscuits there. And the dog's going, how did they know I was a dog? And that's because of the retargeting. So, and you've had this happen. You go somewhere, you go to Amazon and you're looking at tennis shoes and all of a sudden you see tennis shoes everywhere. You go on Facebook, tennis shoe ads pop up. And it's because of these little codes that are dropped in based on your behavior. So it's especially good to retarget people that's been to your website. Sadly, less than 2% of people that go to your website is going to sign up for your email list. So you could retarget them on social media platforms to try to get them on your list. Gives you a second chance, retargeting. So those are the 7 pros of paid advertisement. Really quickly, it allows you to precisely target your ideal audience based on the demographics, interests, and behaviors. Number 2, they offer immediate visibility. Number 3, you can set a budget that aligns with your pocketbook. Number 4, you get measurable results. Number 5, it increases your brand awareness. Number 6, lead generating. And number 7, retargeting. So those are the 7 pros to paid advertising. Now let's talk about the cons. Paid advertising is not for everybody. For instance, I had a client, Karen, when she started working, when the first time I met her, she had told me she had spent $8,000 on Facebook ads. She added 500 people to her list and had 0 clients. She felt like she was doing something wrong. She felt like maybe she wasn't cut out to be a coach. I immediately had her stop paying for advertising and worked with her creating strategies that aligned with her personal strengths, beliefs, and values. And within 3 months, she had earned over 15,000 and added more than 2,000 people to her list without paying for ads. So ads can be very costly, and it is a con, especially because there's this steep learning curve to creating ads that actually pay off. And obviously, my client, she spent tons of money. It was very costly, but she never got the learning curve. She never got any ROI. She was placing ads 100% to get leads because that's what her coach told her to do, but it wasn't working. Another con of paid advertising is that there's ad blockers. Now, you can put ad blockers on your computer, which can prevent your ads from reaching a portion of your target audience. Not everybody's going to see it. And then whenever you're going into paid advertising, it can increase the cost because of your competition. Eons of years ago, really it was about 2005, I had a business with Google Ads. I at that time there were hundreds of diets online, and I had reviewed them all, and I created a website, and I drew people to the website utilizing Google Ads, and then if they purchased any of the diets on my website, I would get a commission. I was netting $5,000 a month. And Google changed its algorithm and killed my business overnight. That being said, I understood, and I do understand the whole advertising thing. But back then, I could put in a word, I could pay maybe $1 for really high, powerful keywords. And that was back 2005, 2006. And today, that same keyword can cost you $5 to $10. So it's really increased because the competition has expanded. So more people online, more people placing ads. So therefore, they can charge more. So know that your competition, especially if you're in a competitive market, such as business coaching, health, or relationships, it can be very costly to place ads, and your competitors that are placing ads just increases the cost. Another thing is platform policy changes. As I said, Google changed its algorithm, killed my business overnight. I'm very grateful for that because after that, I found coaching. I love, love, love coaching. Even though I knew what I was doing, there's a lot of number crunching to placing ads. And I know how to number crunch, but I really don't enjoy it. Some people really enjoy, getting into the nitty gritty of the numbers and how can I increase these numbers and what can I do? And that's, to me, those are the people that are great to place paid ads whenever they really like that number crunching. But they can always change their policies. What happened with Google, with me back then, is Google really tightened up on diets simply because there were way too many diets out there. And I assume there was probably lawsuits and stuff because there were hundreds of diets online. There's not that many online today because of what happened in 2008 with this algorithm change. And it definitely impacts your performance and your reach. And if they change it because they don't like your niche, then you're out of luck. Another con of placing ads is you can have inconsistent results. You might place $100 worth of ads today and make $500, place $100 worth of ads next month and lose $1,000. You really can't lose $1,000. You'd lose 100, the 100 you put. So if you placed $100 in ads next month, you could have zero. So if it's inconsistent, there's something wrong with the marketing, and that really needs to be researched. You're definitely, as I mentioned earlier, you're vulnerable to all the shifts, the changes, because it's constantly changing. The landscape is constantly changing. All of the social media platforms, Google, are constantly changing their algorithm. So I'm going to repeat all of the cons. It's costly. There's a steep learning curve. There's ad blockers. The competition could increase your rates. There's platform policy changes, inconsistent results, and you're very vulnerable to algorithm changes, the landscape, and whatever they do. So your 15-minute challenge this week is to really sit there and contemplate, how much of a risk taker are you? How much money can you put towards advertising each month? Can you do it consistently? Second of all, going back to the risk taking, if you do several months without seeing a return on your investment, do you have the guts to continue it? And do you like crunching numbers? That's huge. Do you like crunching numbers? Do you really sit there like analyzing everything? And also, is there a different way you can get the same results for free or for less money? That's huge, because you could possibly pay to have a one-page advertisement in a magazine, either online or offline. You could pay to have a PR release that goes everywhere. They could be a lot less than placing ads and give you better results. So you really have to ask yourself all of these questions before you even begin to start using ads. And really and truly, deciding whether or not to use paid advertising, it involves a very thoughtful evaluation of your business goals, your budget, your target audience, and your marketing strategy. I personally don't place ads, especially what happened to me after Google. However, I know people that are very successful with it. So I'm not anti-ads. It's just personally not my strategy. So if you do decide that you want to place ads, first of all, you want to define your goals. What is your objective in placing the ads? Do you want to increase your brand awareness? Do you want to increase traffic to your website? Do you want to generate leads, or do you want to boost sales on a particular product or service that you have? You need to exactly know what your goal is. Number two, you need to know exactly who your ideal client avatar is. You need to know them super, super, super intimately. Everything and anything you can know about them. Like, what time do they go to bed at night? What time do they wake up in the morning? You really need to know them very intimately. And you need to know if they're on the platform that you're considering placing ads to it. And are they going to respond to ads? That's huge. Are there other people in your niche market that are having success with ads? If they are, and they serve the same ideal client as you, then you'll know that your ideal client will respond to advertising. Step number three, evaluate your budget. How much money are you willing to advertise each month? How much money are you willing to invest with the potential that you could lose it? That's huge. My client that lost the $8,000, that's the most I'd ever heard of anybody personally losing. In a 6 month, that was over $1,000 a month she was investing, and she really wasn't getting anything back. So evaluate your budget. How much are you going to spend on advertising? When are you going to call it quits? Know what the red flags are. There's a lot to it. Number four is, are you prepared for advertising? Do you have a well-designed website? And do you have effective landing pages and opt-in pages? Do you have clear, consistent messaging? And do you have a sales funnel that can handle incoming traffic and potential leads? And really and truly, to be successful with advertising, I believe you need all of that. I believe wholeheartedly, this is my opinion, that having brand new people or people struggling to make money place ads is doing you a disservice. An advertising coach that I spoke to one time, she had said, before you even place an ad to get leads, like to get people on your email list from an opt-in page, you should have that opt-in page converting at 50% before you even place the ad with it. So whenever you know if it works organically, it has a better chance of working whenever you pay for it. But if you're just starting and you're going in blind, trying to create all this stuff, you could Throw a lot of money to the wind, just like my client did, 8K in 6 months. Is your sales funnel? Do you have a proven sales funnel? You say, hey, they go to your lead magnet, you nurture them, you talk to them, you have your message down pat, and it converts them to a sale. If you have that down pat, then you can very well consider advertising. If not, I suggest you don't pay for advertising, because utilizing that money that you could spend for advertising to pay a mentor to help you get ready is going to be more beneficial to you. I can help you get money. I can help you get clients. I can help you get visibility. I can help you with all of that. And not just me, there's lots of coaches out there that can do that without paying for ads. You know, a lot of people, when they have their messaging, they always go without advertising, because so many people have thrown away thousands upon thousands of dollars on advertising that didn't work. And that's because they weren't prepared. Number 5, really understand the different advertising platforms. Each platform has different strengths and they have different target audiences. They each do something different. So is it going to be better for you to place a Facebook ad, an Instagram ad, an Amazon ad, or a Google ad? Or even Microsoft MSN, you can advertise there too. So whenever you understand the how each one of them works, it's going to help you make a better decision. Number 6, what is your marketing expertise? Evaluate your own level of expertise in paid advertising. Even if you're new, if you've worked with clients and you've helped them have success with paid advertising, then you're an expert in it. You know, if you worked even somewhere where you utilized paid advertising, what is your knowledge of it? And number 7, are you willing and able to hire a professional? I personally would never do ads without hiring a professional that really knows the ins and outs, that knows how to test it and tweak it and change it, that has proven results. That being said, just because they have proven results doesn't mean it's going to be successful for you. I know of a 7-figure company that spent $70,000 in advertising on Facebook, and they got 0 return on investment, and they did hire a professional. So it's not always guaranteed. Advertising is always a risky business. There's a fine art to it. Number 8, do you like to test and optimize? You need to be willing to analyze the data. That's where, that number crunching comes in. Analyze the data, and you need to consistently make adjustments to improve your performance continuously. The more you do that, the more your ads are going to pay off. I have one of my friends, she places ads a lot, and she has a very good ROI. I think for like every $100 she spends, she gets like $400 back. And that's a very good ROI. But she didn't start out that way, and she has worked up to it, and she does have a professional advertiser that helps her with her advertising. So as I said, I have this one 7-figure coach over here that lost a ton of money, and somebody else that's getting 4 times their investment. So it can work for the right person. As I always say, every strategy works for the right person at the right time with the right mindset. Number 9, you want to set realistic expectations. Don't think you're going to place ads and all of a sudden be making 10K a month unless you're placing like tons of ads, right? Set realistic expectations and be willing to, that risk factor has to be there, that you're willing to risk. You also don't want to risk something you don't have to risk. So don't utilize credit cards to place ads, because that's a risky transaction. Again, I'd rather see you use your credit card to pay a mentor to help you discover how to make money without advertising and get a down path than utilize advertising. Number 10, continuously track and analyze your results. Number 11, know your risk tolerance. I've talked about this a lot. You really need to assess your risk tolerance. Because paid advertising comes with a level of uncertainty. Nothing's certain, nothing's proven. So it's essential that you're okay with the outcomes. My client was okay losing $8,000. I personally would not be okay losing $8,000 without having a return on my investment. So you know your financial situation, and you know your risk levels. Some people love to take risks, and if that's you, go for it. Ultimately, the decision to use paid advertising for your coaching business depends on your specific circumstances. It depends on your personality, your resources. Because whenever it's done strategically and it's done within your means, paid advertising can be a powerful tool to increase your online visibility and your profits. However, it's essential to plan carefully, to be willing to adjust your approach. You can't be attached to certain outcomes or to your approach. You need to be willing to move and shift whatever the advertising is demanding of you for you to have better results. So I hope this helps you in you making an empowered decision on whether or not paid advertising is good for you. Now, you may not have got things like, here's, boost this post. Whenever you're boosting your posts, I've never really heard anybody really having a lot of luck with that. And this is a way that, like Facebook, I don't know if other social media platforms do this, but they start getting you thinking, hey, I can make more money. And I have never met anybody to this day that has said that they have effectively boosted posts and got a return on their investment. So with all of these, you really want to do your homework, a lot more than I can cover during this podcast. And as I said at the beginning, I am not an expert in it because I prefer to use free strategies. That's why in my newsletter, you get Freebie Friday with free tools and resources to help you grow your business. Because every strategy that I used to build my business did not cost me anything but my time and my work. And if you're willing to put in the time and the work, or you're willing to pay somebody to put in the time and the work, you can have fantastic results. You can get to 7 figures without ever placing ads. But if you're really that risk taker and you really like number crunching, then place ads. But I do beg of you to really do your homework so you're not throwing money to the wind. So be sure to tune in next week for another episode of Biz Success in 15. And our topic is going to be 3 ways to get visible with guest 7-figure coach, Galit Rosen Ventura. If you've never met Galit, you're going to love her and her tips. So tune in next week. And starting today, step into who you are with outrageous confidence for more visibility, influence, and profits. And remember to download your free copy of the Visibility Checklist at visibilitychecklist.com. Big hugs. Have a great week.